Hello, welcome pen friends. I'm excited to be here today. It's actually Black Friday. It's raining and cold outside, and the only thing I wanted to order was a new TWSBI swipe in the beautiful blue color. So that is the extent of my shopping, and I had pre-planned that purchase. So I wanted to come to you with a two-part video that I'm not going to release till I have both parts done, so don't worry. Inspired by a channel called A Little Bit of a Lot, where she did a two-part series talking about if I had to restart my fountain pen collection, which pens would I purchase and which would I not, you know, of the ones that you've had or have still. And so I was just really intrigued by that. I know that this person and I aren't going to have the same pens on the same list, you know, so it's kind of funny. And I don't ever expect that any two people are going to feel the same way about every pen or you know what I mean. But I thought, wow, that could really help me refine my whys and my ideas of which pens are going to make their exits and, you know, how I'm going to go about it. So it just was really fun to watch that. And then after, I couldn't get out of my mind. I just couldn't. It's been a few weeks, I think, and I couldn't get it out of my mind. So here's the deal. On my Google document where I inventory my pens, it shows that I have 158 fountain pens. This is insane, ridiculous, whatever. But yet, it could be worse. A high percentage of those have been gifted to me. And as we're going through these two videos, both the pens I would repurchase and the pens I wouldn't, I excluded pens that have been given to me. So, I mean, I just did. I just thought, you know, I didn't lay down channel money or my own allowance money for those pens. So that's going to be handled differently on maybe a part 3, you know, like wonderful pens that have been gifted to me or something like that, because I don't think it's the same because the budget aspect is so important to me. Anyway, right or wrong, I did exclude pens that have been given to me. And if I run across one in this that was given to me, I'm going to be really mad at myself because that would mean I accidentally broke my rule. So first, this video is pens I would definitely repurchase. So first up, right on the left here, is my TWSBI Ecos. I love them. They're workhorse pens. And that's the thing. I want to remember with each pen to tell you why. That's why I'm having to break it up into two parts. So definitely TWSBI Ecos, both with broad, this one has a broad, and medium nibs, because I love them for note-taking, for not as much for letter writing, but definitely journaling and note-taking, number one. And then if it happens to have a broad nib on it, I think I now have 3 with broad nibs, then I'll write letters with it. I just don't tend to pick up a medium nib for letter writing. Okay, I heard like shrieking in the background. So I love the ink capacity. I love the reliability of these. Like, no matter how long I have them inked up, I pick it up and it writes every time. Yeah, it is, of all the piston fillers that I've tried, it's my favorite piston filler. I love it a lot better than the Diamond 580. I don't think I went so far as to put the Diamond 580 on my would not repurchase list, but I definitely have more Ecos and they're my favorites. So they would definitely be on the list for me to, you know, with the insurance money, or if I was lucky enough or whatever the circumstance, to replace those. So next up is my Genhal X750s. I love these pens. They're not demonstrators. Oops, this guy doesn't have a nib. Must have been doing some nib swapping. These are cartridge or cartridge converter, which has got a converter in this one, pens. Easy to clean and maintain, easy to swap. Number 6 nibs. I can't, that's embarrassing. Gosh darn it. That pen deserves a nib. Let's give it one right now. We'll just swap it from the Serendipity. Because that's part of this thing, is how easy it is, you know, to put, you know, the number 6 nibs. This is a Goulet fine nib. I'm not likely to want to write with that, but anyway, at least the pen looks better now. So they come in all these neat colors. They're super nice. Even the stock nib that comes on it is good. It's just that I tend to like broad and stub nibs better, so I usually replace them. Okay, so definitely that'd be on my list. And then next up is the Opus 88 Omar. This just happens to be my favorite Opus 88 model, but I kind of want this pen to represent all of the Opus 88s because I also love the Coloro, and I love the demonstrator. The large demonstrator one that's a different shape than this, you know, also takes the number 6 nib, but it accommodates the Pilot Parallel, and it's just, you know, I don't have it sitting here. It almost made it into this tray, you can probably tell. But I decided to have this Opus 88 Omar be the placeholder for all of my 88s because they would be, oh, I'd be devastated. I would just be devastated. I love them. They are eyedropper fill. So all you do is just, whoops, I need to grease those threads a little just to, you know, you just put the ink right down in there and you're good to go. And it's really easy to clean out too. I use a little bulb syringe from Radio Shack to clean it out because it fits right in there. But and these nib units screw in and out. That's another feature I love. It's a large ink capacity. I love that. And I just really love the fact that should I have nib trouble or want to switch nib sizes on this particular, you know, on any particular one, it's easy to do. It's just gonna, the nib unit's gonna screw out. So definitely, definitely. Okay, next up, I love my TWSBI swipes. Whoops, oh, this is inked up, good. It's got some orange Soleil in it, I think, from J.R. Bond. I'm not crazy about the blue one, the first blue color that came out, but I like this smoke one, and I'm noticing that now they're coming out with new colors. That was my Black Friday purchase, was to go ahead and kind of pre-order one on Van Ness. The swipe that's this gorgeous blue, like a excuse me, it kind of reminds me of that Conklin turquoise, antique turquoise ink I was gushing about. This has a broad nib. So what I love about this is it's super easy to deal with like shimmer inks and everything because you could tear this down so easily to clean it. And you could tear apart the converter and clean that too. You also have a cartridge option for these too, which I won't ever use. I'll always use the converter. I mean, it's the same nib, so I almost, as the Eco, so I almost didn't put it in here, but I've really been really taken with these, and I said to myself, if they would get colors I really liked, yeah, I'd be on top of it, but not too much, just very favorite colors like blue and purple. Okay, so that's 4. Number 5. I hope I said 10. This is 10 total. Number 5 is the Moonman Mini Wankai. I love this, and this is another eyedropper. And it's also another pen that I typically put a broad goulet nib on very carefully, because usually the feed doesn't come out just the, well, it will, but I haven't, you know, I haven't insisted on that because I don't want to break it. I usually end up being able to pull just the nib and switch it, but it's a very comfortable pen. It's a pocket pen. I love them. I love the size. I love everything about it. And I would, you know, I'd be stupid if they had any more colors than they have, because I've probably already got almost everything they made. in this, I didn't get the more expensive material. I can't think what it is. I didn't get those, but I got, you know, like the swirl and the clear and the pink and, oh, mercy. Okay. So definitely a favorite that I definitely want to replace. Next up is, and this, you know, 1, 2, 3 TWSBIs that basically have the same nib, but I love this pen. This is the TWSBI Go in the clear. And, you know, mostly this is based on me using them, except for the exception of 2 brand new to me pens at the very end. Not brand new, but, well, yes, sort of. Anyway, I've had these Goes and the Swipe and the Ecos long enough to know that they, even though they're a similar writing experience, all 3, excuse me, are just really critical to my collection. What's going on in there? We got ink dried up in there? We have a violation. Yeah, I'll have to clean that. Okay, and also once I figured out through watching different people's videos how to tear this apart and clean it better, and not just clean it, but grease the the spring mechanism, you know, the mechanism, the piston part of the spring mechanism, that really helped too. I like these. They're super affordable. They're cute. I don't know. Very comfortable to write with, extremely lightweight, and you got that nib that you already know I like because there's 2 pens before it. I would replace them. I'd get at least 2, probably with broad nibs. Yeah, I wouldn't need any medium or any fine or anything. I just would go straight for the broad nibs. Okay, next up is relatively new to me. The Tache Oto mini pocket pen from Japan. Now, I haven't had this too long, but it was a dream answered because I had a pocket pen I didn't like I didn't like the filling mechanism on the bladder one I had. And this does it for me. This is perfect. It's almost the same size as that one that I liked everything except for the filling. Now this is just cartridge pen, but you can refill it with anything you want. Looks like I've been writing quite a bit with it. And it was super affordable, mercy, you know, and it's just really nice. It goes right in my pocket. I haven't had any problems whatsoever. Certainly no leaking, no problems at all. And I just love it. They have it in many colors too. So again, I kept taking it out thinking, really, that hasn't been with you all that long, but I can tell you right now, at least right now, I'm obsessed with it. So now here's a long time from the very beginning friend. So what are we up to now? 8, yeah, pen number 8 is the Lamy Safari, and I want this also to stand in for the Vista and the All-Star. They're basically the same pen body with different materials. You know, you got the plastic, you got the metal on the All-Star, and then the clear demonstrator on the Vista. But they're all, I would just be, yeah, I would have to replace them. I love being able to easily switch nibs. This has a fine nib right now. And I think, okay, good. I have some of my Lamys. I just put it on my list to order more converters because I hadn't kept up with the number of converters I needed. I just love them. They write really well. I don't mind the grip. They've been on my top 5 probably since the beginning. And I don't know, they're easy to clean. They write really well. I don't, you know, I've never had inconsistency issues with mine. So, the broad and the fine nibs are my favorite, but now the 1.5 is up there too. So this is really new to me. This really is, but I'm so obsessed with it, it's just not even funny. What happened was I got a roller ball by the same company given to me as an early birthday present. And I knew nothing about this Schneider company, and I was so intrigued because inside it was like a converter, you know? And so I thought, okay, I get to put whatever I want in it. That's so neat. And my pen friend and pen pal, DS, thank you very, very much, sent this to me. So I went online and I looked it up because I thought, oh, I've never heard of it. And I found out they make fountain pens too. And I'd never heard of that. So this has a medium nib. And it's got the smoothest nib. Oh my gosh, it writes like a broad nib, actually. It definitely writes as good as a TWSBI broad nib. And it's super smooth. And it's, of course, got the converter too. Except that this one didn't come with a converter. I only paid like 11 something for this one. And it came with a cartridge. But it said standard international cartridge. So I took a Jinhao converter and put it on here, and I've been super happy with it. Super happy. I should, let me get my book so I can show you a writing sample. Okay, maybe I should have done that with all of them, but you know, that's not how I'm doing this, I guess. But this is kind of new in the door, and it just blows me away. I'm going to show you. I did put Sailor Manyo Akabe in it. And it's a Schneider Ray fountain pen, medium nib, and it's super amazing. I just was like, holy, how on earth did I miss this? I don't know. I think it's just one that's under talked about or something. And this was an Amazon purchase. They vary in price from day to day because I'd been kind of chasing around looking to see other colors and things like that, but they vary quite a bit. And then they're on eBay too, but if you're in a different country, there is another little stationery store. I got all set up thinking, oh wow, I can get it there, but the shipping was going to be ridiculous. So for, I can't remember the name of the store. Hopefully I can find it for the description box. Anyway, I would be crying if I lost this or it got lost in any kind of disaster. I'd have to replace it already, I know. It's less of a forced grip. It's just sort of a molded grip section. And it's just amazing. I love it. Oh my gosh, I could just wander off with it and write with only it all day. Okay, and then last but not least, number 10. Is also kind of new to my world by just a couple weeks, but still, it's the Jinhao 80, which on the outside is the lookalike to the Lamy 2000, and then on the inside, people tell me it looks like a Lamy Studio in that, you know, the whole inner workings, the nib, and the fact that it's a cartridge converter. I just love this, and once I figured out how to get the nibs swapped, you know, this one has the broad nib, and I did 2 videos about this already, so we don't need to stay on that subject too long. So these are, right now, a good snapshot of the ones that I would just be frantic to replace, and I'm sure that there would be others too, but I had every pen I own out on my table, and I was like, going over it and thinking, okay, we're narrowing it down to 10 because I thought that was a good number. First I started at 12, but that wasn't a good number. 10 was for me. So this is it. This is part 1, and I'm going to stick to what I said because I want to break it up, but I will release them at the same time. You'll just be able to, you know, kind of go from one to the other. And I'd love to hear, you know, if you have any thoughts like this about what you think you would write with the most and miss if it either got lost or blown away or whatever. Oh, let's not think about that. But, you know, it's an exercise, a mind exercise, I guess, to kind of think about why we like things. And let's see, as we look at this, is there anything here we can kind of, we've got 1, 2 eyedroppers representing, you know, the other 2 models of this that I also like. And then we've got piston filler, 1 piston filler, 1 is kind of spring filler, different kind of mechanism. 1 only cartridge converter, where it's, cartridge, where it's cartridge only, excuse me. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So 5. So the full half that are, is that right? Let's see, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are converter, which just makes it really simple and kind of easier maybe to clean, I guess, than say the piston or even this one. Although this one cleans really well with that spring. Yeah. Anyway, we've got some nib similarities. Let's see, we've got these 2 are the number 6 size nib. Then, of course, we've got 2 with a Lamy style nib. 3 with the TWSBI nib. Oh, and you can count 4 because that's a number 5 nib as well, that same size nib. So that tells you something. That's 4 of them with that little nib. You know, the number 5 size nib. That's cool. I do love Lamy nibs, and so these 2 are definitely all the way Lamy nibs. That's what I replaced the Jinhao nib with. And this nib, you know, it's kind of in a world of its own, I suppose. German nib, though, extremely, oh my goodness, you can tell by looking at that nib. If you can see it like I can, it's got a lot of tipping material. It's nicely rounded. And to me, I think even in the description it said M+, like medium plus. That tells you something. And to me, this is in the budget category. I saw them from $11, $12 up to maybe $17 or $18 and even $25, but it just, you know, kind of varied a lot. Like I think they know when I get ready to order, they jack the price up. I don't know why. Okay, that's it for this part, and I will see you next time for 10 fountain pens that I have that I would most likely not repurchase if somehow they vaporized, okay? So I'll see you next time. Bye for now.